Hi all, my name is Amal, Assistant Professor Department of Computer Science, St. Albans College Autonomous. Today, we are going to have a look on database management system. We are all familiar with data. We are all familiar with data processing and getting information from data. First of all, what do you mean by data? Data is everything which is generated from a data generation source, data devices. Example, if there is a data processing tool, for example, if there is a camera, we are getting data in a video format. If there is a audio recording device, we are getting data in an audio format. If there is a normal keyboard, we are getting data in a document format. In everywhere in the scenario, we are having a data source and we are getting data generated out of it. So, what's the relevance of a database management system? Actually, database management system is a software which is having all these following features. First one is collection of interrelated data. Whatever the database and whatever the data, we are having a collection of interrelated data. A database management system software is having a feature that is a collection of interrelated data. Second one is a set of programs to access the data. We are having a huge quantity of data. We have to have efficient data searching mechanism as well as data updation mechanism. That is what we call it as we have to create efficient programming and efficient querying mechanism to access the data. And DBMS contains information about a particular enterprise. That is, if you're using a database for a particular enterprise, it's holding huge amount of information for that particular organization. DBMS provides an environment which is both convenient and efficient to use. That is, if you are, for example, there is an application termed as Zomato. We are all familiar with that, I think. They are having a database which is associated with that particular Android app. What will be the data in that particular app? As we all know, there may be data regarding the customers, data regarding the menus of different hotels, data regarding the orders placed, and amount transferred. Everything will be there in this particular database. And that particular database will be handling the relation between this data. There is a particular order and the particular amount of that order, and the order placed by a customer and the order delivered by a particular delivery boy. Everything will be mapped in that particular database management system. Coming to the database management system, we are having so many applications around there. First one is, as I mentioned earlier, there is Zomato database. And when we are going to dealing with huge organization like banking systems, we are having huge amount of transactions are happening in a particular second. There might be a person entering into an ATM and withdrawing his money. At the same time, a person is getting into the bank and asking the bank manager for a loan. At the same time, there may be a person who is depositing money. Huge amount of transactions are happening in a particular second. Coming to airlines reservation system. There is a huge air traffic happening worldwide in a particular second. All these are managed by an efficient software with the support of efficient database management system. Coming to universities, you are having grades, you are having marks, you are having certificates issued after the course. How is happening? All these are managed by an efficient software in this year. And it is supported by an efficient database management system. Coming to sales, manufacturing, human resource, everywhere you can see an efficient software is backed and supported with an efficient database management system. Coming to the database management system, sources of data. We are having huge amount of data sources when it comes to a database management system. What is an efficient DBMS? An efficient DBMS must cater the following issues. First one is data redundancy and inconsistency. An efficient DBMS must avoid data redundancy and data inconsistency. What do you mean by data redundancy? There may be a database, there may be data regarding particular customer, and data is redundant. Multiple places is having a particular data which is not useful and which is not needed to store again and again. And data inconsistency. Inconsistent data is termed as the entire database is not reliable. For example, if you are running a particular bank If the data is inconsistent, you cannot depend on the bank balance by using a particular software, because the software may not be accurate and the amount showing in the bank balance may not be correct. Coming to multiple file formats. As I mentioned earlier, there are a huge number of data generation sources out there. There may be sources of data which is generating data in a particular form. There may be another source which is generating data in another form. And all these mentioned here are the drawbacks of a regular file system. But when it comes to an efficient DBMS, we have to avoid all these issues. If you are dealing all these issues with a file system, there may be issues of inconsistency, there may be issues of correctness, there may be human errors. All these may be possible when we are using a file system. When we are dealing with the drawbacks of a file system, you can see redundancy and inconsistency. And coming to data duplication and information which is available in different files. And coming to accessing data, there may be difficulty in accessing huge amount of data. And when it comes to programming and accessing a huge task, then it may be a delay in accessing data from various locations. And coming to integrity problems, there may be integrity problems if you are updating data in inconsistent manner. Suppose if you have a banking application and a particular customer is making a transaction and that transaction is not updated properly, then there may be integrity issues. Coming to atomicity of updates, one of the major properties of an efficient DBMS is atomicity. Every updations, every transactions done in a particular DBMS must be in a consistent state. Inconsistency of a particular database may lead to issues in integrity as well as data correctness. Failures may leave database in an inconsistent state. Suppose if there is a data failure, data updation failure, data insertion failure, whatever it is, a database must be a consistent state. That means if there is a data must be accurate. If there is an updation happening, it's not done properly, the data must be rolled back into the original position. That is what we call it as atomicity. And coming to concurrent access of multiple users. Suppose if you're having a banking application, there may be n number of users access the banking site as well as banking directly, as well as the ATMs in a real-time manner. The concurrent transactions must be dealt in a proper manner with an efficient system. Then, what are the concurrency issues happening? First one is the performance. Then, second one is inconsistent states. That is, uncontrolled concurrency applications may lead to inconsistency of the application. And coming to a particular scenario, as I mentioned earlier, if a particular person is checking his balance and it is not updated in real time, then it is a serious issue. He may think that his balance is reduced. There is one of the serious issue happening in real time. Coming to the structure of a particular database, we have three level schema. First one is physical level, second one is logical level, third one is view level. In the physical level schema, we are storing the data in a particular data device, that is a particular data storage device, hard disk or data warehouses. In the second one, that is the logical level, here we are creating the structure of that particular database. For example, if you are storing a university grade or university mark, we are storing data in a table-wise manner. When it comes to Facebook, if you are storing a particular data regarding a particular person, we are creating it in a graph-wise manner. Like that, whatever the data demands, we are creating the structure based on that. The efficiency in reading, the efficiency in updating, efficiency in writing. And coming to the view level, here we are the end users and end applications are working. That is, the applications extract the data from the database and showing it to the particular person. There may be command line interfaces are there, graphic user interfaces are there, and end APIs are there. All this come into this view level. These are the three views of a particular database management system. Come to schema. Logical schema of a particular database is focusing on the structure of the data. As I mentioned earlier, we are having relationship mentioned there. That is, whatever it is. Sometimes it may be in a table-wise manner. Sometimes it may be in a graph-wise manner. Everything is mentioned in logical schema. And coming to physical level, we are having a storage device. That is, how this data is stored in a particular storage. All these are managed with a particular framework here in this physical level. And coming to logical level, we are having the database design. Here, you can see a particular relational database. You can see the attribute name, customer name, ID, customer name, customer street, and city. And here, you can see data on each attribute. And what is the logical level schema mentioned here? Here it's a table. So we are calling it as a relational data. So we are saving this particular data in a relational database management system. Why? Is termed into a particular table with attributes and columns. Each row we are calling it as records. If you are updating a particular records, the entire record is committed to a particular database. If there is any inconsistency happening in a particular cell, it is rolled back into the previous state of that particular record. The entire record is committed to the previous state. Like that, a relational database management system is managed by a particular DBMS. As I mentioned earlier, there are so many applications are out there. University grade management system, Facebook, Zomato, Uber, so many applications are there. So each application demands different type of data management. University grade management system, they are demanding a relational database. Data is stored in this kind of manner. When it comes to Facebook, they are demanding users are connecting with multiple users. So they are demanding a graph-based database. They are calling it as Neo4j. When it comes to Zomato, Uber, they are mainly based on connectivity and geographical location mapping and order placing everything. So they are demanding entirely different database. Like that, every scenarios, every applications are demanding an efficient database management system based on their requirements. Coming to the database management system queries. Here you can see DDL statements, DML statements, SQL. We are having so many data querying mechanisms. We are categorizing it into data definition language, that is DDL statements, and data manipulation language, that is DML statements. Data DDL statements, data definition languages, are those statements which are basically used to alter the structure of a particular database. Especially in relational database, we can alter the number of columns, number of column types, data types, everything we can alter by using DDL statements. Examples are alter statement, drop, and create statement. Coming to DML statement, that is data manipulation language. We are having this much of queries, update, insert, delete. All these are dealing with manipulating a particular data. Coming into SQL statements and DBA, database administration roles, there may be a person allocated to a particular DBMS to manage all these configurations, all this spec, managing the physical devices, etc. All these are managed by a particular person, and that role is called as DBA, database administration. And when it comes to a particular huge organization, there may be n number of programmers are there, multiple DBAs are there. They are efficiently teamed up to manage that particular application. Along with an efficient database management system, we need efficient DBA also. In the current scenario, most of the applications are using an efficient database management system. Thank you.